Ninth minute, AT&T Stadium, Dallas. 70,649 fans packed into the air-conditioned arena. Lionel Messi steps up to the penalty spot, a chance to become the greatest World Cup goalscorer of all time, right then and there. He strikes it, and it rolls weakly wide of the post. A miss. By Messi's own admission afterward, he was, in his words, very angry. But here's what makes this night remarkable. 29 minutes later, Messi does something extraordinary. And then, in the dying seconds of the match, he does it again. Today on GoalLab, we're breaking down the full story. The biomechanics of why a penalty specialist misses from 12 yards and the precision finishing that turned anger into the most goals ever scored by one player in World Cup history. This is the night Messi passed Klose. Let's go. Why even the greatest miss from 12 yards. Let's start with the miss, because there's real science here, not just a bad moment. In the 9th minute, Lautaro Martinez was brought down in the box, sandwiched between two Austrian defenders. After a VAR review, the referee pointed to the spot. Messi stepped up. And what happened next is worth examining closely, because elite penalty taking is one of the most psychologically demanding acts in football: the setup. A penalty kick travels approximately 11 meters, 12 yards, from a stationary position. At professional shot speeds, the ball reaches the goal line in roughly 0.3 to 0.4 seconds after contact. That means the contest isn't really between the striker and the goalkeeper's reflexes in real time. It's a pre-decision contest. The taker commits to a direction and technique before the goalkeeper can react to the strike itself. What went wrong? Biomechanically. By multiple match accounts, Messi's run-up was notably slow, and his strike lacked his usual conviction. He himself called it a poor, weak effort that rolled wide. In penalty kick biomechanics, a slower run-up changes the hip rotation and the plant foot angle at contact. The plant foot, the non-kicking foot, is placed beside the ball and determines the directional axis of the strike. If the approach angle and plant foot positioning aren't perfectly synced with the intended shot direction, even a tiny misalignment, just a few degrees, can send the ball sliding wide of the target rather than driven cleanly into the corner. The pressure factor. This is worth noting. This was Messi's third missed penalty outside of a shootout in World Cup competition since his debut in 2006. He had also seen a penalty saved at the 2022 World Cup and missed one in 2018. Elite penalty conversion sits around 75 to 80% even for the best takers in the world, meaning a miss from a player of Messi's caliber, while rare, is not a statistical anomaly. It's a reminder that even with 11 meters and an empty goal in front of you, the margin for technical error is razor thin. Turning a cutback into tournament history. Minute 38. The build-up. Watch the setup for this goal carefully, because the most important action isn't Messi's, it's his teammates. Facundo Medina advances down the left and slides a pass into the path of Thiago Almada. Almada, with the ball at his feet inside the box, makes a deceptively simple but technically clever decision. He lets the ball run through his legs. Why this matters mechanically. By allowing the ball to pass through rather than touching it, Almada does two things simultaneously. He removes his own body as an obstacle in the defender's line of sight and movement path, and he preserves the ball's existing speed and trajectory rather than redirecting it, which would slow it down and give Austria's defense time to recover. This let-it-run technique is a deliberate disguise. Defenders read a player's hips and feet to predict where the ball is going. By not touching it, Almada gives them nothing to read. The result? Messi finds the goal completely open. The finish. Messi latches onto the cutback and finishes first time. No extra touch, no setup. A first-time finish, once again, removes the goalkeeper's ability to adjust his position based on a striker's final touch or body shape change. Schlager, Austria's goalkeeper, has to commit before Messi's strike is even fully visible. That goal moved Messi to 17 World Cup goals. breaking Miroslav Klose's all-time record of 16, a record that had stood since the 2014 World Cup. Messi had already equaled Klose's mark with a hat-trick against Algeria in the previous match. This goal made him the outright record holder. Predator's instinct in a crowded box. Deep into stoppage time, the record-breaking moment. This goal looks chaotic on first viewing. It isn't. Julian Alvarez's initial attempt is saved by Schlager. The rebound falls loose in a crowded box. 4 Austrian defenders are positioned to clear it. Messi's first effort off the rebound is blocked. And then, for the second time in the same sequence, he reacts before anyone else does. The biomechanics of a second phase reaction. This is one of the most underrated skills in elite finishing. The ability to immediately reset and react to a blocked shot rather than pausing, even for a fraction of a second, to process what just happened. Elite strikers train this exact scenario, rebound reaction, because the time window between a blocked shot and a second opportunity is often under half a second. Messi drives in a low strike from 6 yards out. A low strike at close range is, statistically, the hardest type of shot for a goalkeeper to save in a crowded box, because the goalkeeper's vision is already partially blocked by the bodies of 4 defenders standing between him and the striker. The ball travels a shorter distance than the first goal, but through more visual obstruction, making goalkeeper reaction nearly impossible even with a low average shot speed. That goal made it 18 World Cup goals for Messi, extending his own new record to 2 clear of Klose's previous mark of 16. What this night means in the record books. Let's put this night in context. Messi's hat-trick in Argentina's opening match against Algeria had already tied him with Klose at 16 World Cup goals. Tonight, his first goal against Austria broke that tie outright, moving him to 17 and making him the sole record holder. The second goal extended the new record to 18, 2 clear of Klose's previous mark of 16. And there's a detail that elevates this even further. Messi's opening goal arrived on the 40th anniversary of Diego Maradona's wonder goal against England in 1986. Both moments, 4 decades apart, delivered by Argentina's 2 greatest players. This result also confirmed Argentina's place in the round of 32, with a game to spare. Messi finished the night top of the tournament's Golden Boot standings. A missed penalty, a first-time finish through a disguised cutback, a Predator's reaction in a crowded box. One night, 2 records broken, his own legacy and football's record books rewritten simultaneously. A slow run-up, a misaligned plant foot, a weak strike, wide. Then, a disguised let-it-run pass exploited to perfection. A first-time finish with no time for the goalkeeper to adjust. A Predator's half-second reaction in a crowded box. Even the greatest players in the world operate within the same biomechanical limits as everyone else. The difference is what they do in the seconds after failure. That's GoalLab's take on the night Messi became the greatest goal scorer in World Cup history. If you want us to break down the next record, the next goal, the next story, subscribe to GoalLab. See you on the next one.